Hello, and welcome to another episode of Hi, I'm Jason with Jason Pollock. I am not Jason. Join Jason and Justin back in the green room as they talk with some of their favorite folks from the entertainment industry. And now, the man you haven't been waiting for, Jason Pollock.
Hey, Mark.
Hey,
Hi, I'm Jason.
You're Jason. I'm
Welcome
not Jason.
to the show. No,
I'm not
you're
even
not Justin either. You're not, but you're filling in because Justin's working in front of a live audience tonight.
I can't even sing.
You don't have to.
Why am I here? I can't even sing. I'm not Justin.
You're not the
Jason.
band leader. If I ask you to belt out some Axl Rose, you can pull that off, I'm sure.
We can try.
All right, thanks, man. You know, earlier today, I asked the shop owner if he could help me out. He said, "Which way did you come in?" I won't open with that next time. Sorry.
Jason, I love it.
Poor Roger is back there. Like, who am I on here with?
Who did I get on with?
I know.
How
you doing, Mark?
I'm good. We had a show earlier. We had J.D. Shapiro on, which
The
was
writer
a
of
lot
Men in
of fun.
Tights.
Yeah, and it was a lot of fun, and I had a couple cocktails, so let's see how that works out.
Oh my God! I forgot to grab one. I was all ready with my Zima, and I forgot. But you know what? Let's just bring out our guest. Speaking of Zima, he was the spokesperson for Zima. Mark's cracking his open right now. He was on the Tonight Show with Jay Leno, which is still pretty darn cool. And he's working on a motion picture based on a stage show he does about a man possessed by Robin Williams called Being Robin. Please welcome in the actual shapeshifter, Roger Kabler.
Hey!
The star behind
Did I pronounce it right?
It was there. It's the whole decoration. Thank you guys. And for that great intro, that's the best intro. Anything. Thank you.
We lost you for a second.
Girlfriend with water. Thank you. You want to say hi to everybody?
Hi, everybody.
Hi, wow, that was just like George and Gracie. That was fantastic.
She thinks I'm a prima donna.
Oh my God. I want to ask you, who can't you do?
What?
I want to ask you, who can't you do?
Well, I only do people say, how many impressions do you do? I do 100, but I only do 6 of them well. You're talking about, like, people can get a little bit of the voice, and there's some great vocal impressions. I suck at vocal impressions. I know that. My voice is like, I can't really articulate, but I do a lot of the physical and the facial and the way I'm an actor. So I was watching Anthony Hopkins last night, and I was thinking I'd love to go on stage and I do Anthony Hopkins. I've been doing it for years, and I don't understand how it could be so incredible at another time. And he's in this thing where he's got Alzheimer's, and I wanted to walk on stage and go, what are we doing? Who is this? Who are you? Who am I? And just freak everybody out. I don't know what I'm doing here. Why are you putting me at home? Weird. But that's my thinking. Then I realized you can't do that, because then you've got Alzheimer people mad at you if they're watching.
Yeah.
So that's not going to happen.
So when you see somebody that you're like, I could do that. I could do that guy. Like, what's the whole process? How does that even start?
That's a great question. Well, with Robin Williams, I immediately identified with him the minute I saw him on Mork and Mindy, and I said, that guy stole my act. And I was just 17, and just smoking weed. I didn't really have an act, but I identified with him because there was something about him. I don't know. Here comes the food. Yeah. Come on. Look at this. This is incredible. And look, wait, hold on. Here's the dessert. Hold on. Come here. Hi.
Oh my goodness.
It make me feel so good.
Is that Mindy?
I call it Mindy. Sometimes I play. But no, see, I can't do the voice. Thank you so much. That's a giant chunk. I asked you to cut it up. What happened to the little chunks?
Oh my God, I love barbarian style, no fork. Well, you just did a De Niro face too. Your face is constantly morphing into different celebrities. It's uncanny.
Excuse me, I'm trying to eat right now.
Now, do you? I mean, what comes first? What comes first on the impression?
You have an understanding of who you're dealing with. I think the psychological. Excuse me, I'm going to have to do what they do in France. I'm just kidding. The psychological understanding of who they are. When you identify with somebody, like I'm smiling, but I may kill you. I understand that. And I understand the mania and the free flowing ideas and when Robin, I have this too. When Robin shows you something, he's a mime. When he shows you something, he sees it in his mind and it comes out his body, and it materializes in front of you, and then it's gone. And so I understand that because I've always done that myself. So I think if you can identify, and like Dustin Hoffman has these little slumping shoulders. As soon as I slump my shoulders, I can understand. What's that like? I get it. And other people have this. Anthony Hopkins has a very stiff, jerky countenance. I don't understand why. And it's a lot of physics. Once you put it in the body, it kind of lives in you, and that's just acting. So all acting is creating characters. Doing impressions is reconstructing a character and then letting it live in you. And sometimes it goes past impression into possession, and that's what my movie's about being Robin. And that's what happened to me. I was very haunted by Robin, and I felt that he was reaching me from a very weird personal place, and I understood. I'm not, doing a full-out impression right now means putting everything on the suspenders and going,
I hear it. I totally hear him in your whole personality. It doesn't sound like you're doing an impression. It sounds like it's you.
But if you're doing a lizard, you understand how they eat. You just identify. And if you're doing Belushi, you can just suck the jello off the plate. I see what you guys talk about. That's my experience with impressions. I've always done impressions.
How long have you started as a stand-up, right?
Really, I started doing impressions before I was a stand-up, and I realized what I really need to do is create an act around these impressions. So I started doing an act, really in a cabaret setting, when I was about 25, about a guy who can't stop doing impressions, who loses control and loses his mind and gets completely absorbed into the impressions to where by the end of the act, I don't exist. And it's a companion. I did a movie called Who the Hell is Bobby Roose? And it's a companion piece to Being Robin, where you take entertainment to a level it's like the movie Magic with Anthony Hopkins, where the ventriloquist takes over.
I was just going to say like a ventriloquist, like you lose yourself and have conversations with the... Do you do that? Do you have like a conversation? You start being the other characters?
Well, in Being Robin, a relationship is created between myself and him. At first, I'm very terrified that he's possessing my mind, and eventually, he starts to materialize, and his words and his cadence comes out of my mouth, and I'm like, what the hell is going on here? My God, please, no. And then all the characters coming out now, baby. That's it. The genie is out of your fucking bottle. You know what I'm saying? You see that here? Uh-oh.
Yeah, you can say it.
So it becomes this manic thing, and I'm completely sublimated. I just disappear into it. And at first I'm fighting, but then I just get out of the way and let him, because he said, come on, get out of the way. Let's go. I need to do this, and you get out of the way now. But he's taking my body and he's sublimating my own personality. And that's what the movie's about, and how we get through that and have a relationship. And there's a scene that I've yet to shoot where he's a spirit and he doesn't feel like he exists anymore until I put on the makeup and the wig. And in the middle of the night, he's like, please put it on, just put it on. I need to see it. Okay, make the face. Okay, yeah. Oh, okay. Now we can. I don't feel funny. It's like he was toward the end of his life. And I'm assuring him he doesn't need to be funny. He's cool. He's all right. You're here and you're present. But imagine being a spirit with no tangible evidence that you exist, and that's what we're dealing with in this movie. Not that funny though.
Yeah, but it's a great concept. There's a documentary about Jim Carrey becoming Andy Kaufman.
Yeah, I saw that. That's great.
He's just got the one. I mean, you've got a multitude. So
well, the point about that. Yeah. Sorry.
No, it's all right.
The real point of the Jim Carrey thing is and I make correlations to Man on the Moon, which I think he was absolutely brilliant in, and the documentary too. And I get it. This was Andy's film, but it was created by somebody who wrote it, and it was directed by somebody who conceived the vision for it. And Jim Carrey was cast. Everything that's going on with me, including the show and everything to do with Robin, was not my idea. It wasn't something I wanted to do. I didn't audition for it. It came to me. It knocked on my door and said, let's get back to work now. I was never going to step foot on stage again. I had been done with show business. I had a tough run at it. I had problems with drugs and alcohol, and I got sober, and I just started painting paintings, and I was happy, living in the woods and painting. And then Robin died, and I got sucked back into it in some weird way where I felt like he was saying, I need you to help me get back to work, okay? Don't be afraid. And I was like, no, I'm not doing this. And I was really reluctant. And my manager called and said, people want you to do a tribute. And I was like, I'm not doing it. And a couple months later, when Robin had completely, was grabbing my girlfriend and taking the paintbrushes and making all of this stuff out, I'm like, I can't do this. And I threw him out. This is what happens in the movie. I threw him out. So you got to go. There's no show. You just go. And then I said, Jesus, did I just throw Robin Williams out when he was asking me just to help him? Who am I to say that this isn't real, And so I said, okay, see, there's people that think I'm trying to cash in on Robin Williams. And what I'm telling you, and the reason I'm telling you is for the haters out there, this is not what I had intended at all. And I do enjoy it, and it's exhausting, and it's exhilarating, and it's hard. It's really hard. You be Robin for 5 minutes and see how that goes with you. Okay?
I just find it's very beloved, though. I find it hard that I just think it's weird that you have haters when it comes to this.
Well, can you understand that people think that Robin is sacred and nobody should ever imitate him or cash in on his act?
I was kind of sad when he passed. He was such a loved person. Yeah. And then I'm not even kidding. Watching some of your impressions, I'm like, oh my God, he lives. Like he lives through you. It
continues.
Yeah.
Well, I studied so much of his work that I really feel compelled to do all his characters and Mrs. Doubtfire and all the stuff that he does to give people that. That's what it's for. It's not for me. It's to give people a sense that, you can see some version of it in live.
Did you already start filming this movie?
Oh yeah, I have a rough cut of it already, and we should be done by the fall. Yeah, and the reaction so far has been interesting because I just did a focus group, and everybody was unanimously asked me a lot of questions afterwards about the meaning of it. Not just, hey, that was great, congratulations, or the very first cut I did, people were like, and then I made it into a documentary. But what we're getting is people going, what happened? Like Bill Murray and Tootsie, what happened? What happened? And I'm like, I still don't have an answer as to whether or not I'm really possessed at times or if it's just my own desire. I loved Robin so much. I just wanted to somehow keep him alive. Or I'm deluded and, I have a mental imbalance when people have suggested that. So
even if you did, it's a harmless imbalance. It seems like it's very therapeutic.
It's a harmless imbalance. It hasn't hurt anything. And thousands of people have embraced the show.
Well, you bring happiness and joy to how many people, and just even the remembering to also watching you work and working in a new direction. I think that's amazing. Like anybody who hates on you for this is insane. Like
what can you do? There's haters everywhere. You look everywhere.
We get the occasional troll.
Yeah. That's I'm okay. That's fine.
When Rodney Dangerfield passed away, we did a show at a theater in Connecticut, and it was called Remembering Rodney. And what we did is there were 5 comics on the bill who all came out and talked about how Rodney Dangerfield influenced them.
Right.
About why they became comedians from watching Rodney Dangerfield specials or whatever. At the very end, we had the first guy that was on the show come out, and ladies and gentlemen, Rodney Dangerfield. And it's obviously the guy, but he's wearing the suit, the red tie, and he comes out and he did his Tonight Show act as him. Didn't do any prosthetics, wasn't trying to fool anyone. Rodney was dead for 2 years.
Who was the guy?
Was it Andy Pitts?
Yeah, it was Andy Pitts. And some lady in the front row.
Used to be Andy Vastolev,
And some lady in the front row stood up and started yelling, "That's not Rodney Dangerfield! That's not right!" And it's like, I'm not trying to fool anyone, lady. Like, we're just paying tribute to a guy we love. He's been dead for 2 years.
That's not Elvis either, by the way.
But there's some people out there that just have to have an issue with everything.
Can we embrace them and say it's okay? You have, as long as they don't totally interfere with the show, I'm good.
Yeah.
Hey, Tom is back. You know what that means?
Hey, Tom.
Hey, pleasure, Roger. Well, we just want to let everybody know that we're making our way on over. HeyComedyToday.org. How are you? We're making our way on over to Twitch. So if you're out there watching on the Facebook side at the moment, let's take a look. You have to join us over on the Twitch side. So you just got to go to www.twitch.tv, drinks, jokes, a letter, and storytelling to catch the rest of this incredible interview. So many more impressions ahead and so many great questions. And if you want to join us, partake in it with us. And while we cross over, we're going to give Roger a chance to get a bite of lamb, and we're going to play a commercial from our sponsor. I think Jason got them aboard recently. Let's take a look as we watch Roger in his Zima commercial.
So this guy sits down, he goes, "Nice bottle, very, what is it?
Rima.
Beer?
No, something different.
Wine cooler.
Not so sweet. Try a zip.
Zip? What's in it? Essence of Patanga. Am I right?
No!
Maybe it was a touch of citrus?
My lips are sealed.
A bit of that spice.
Speak quietly.
One from Zanzibar. I had it in silence. Nice hat. What is it?
Wow. You got to do that with Truman Capote. That was amazing.
That was Truman. Yeah, I got to work with Truman, but he lowered his voice for the commercial. But he descended his.
He became a man for the commercial. You know what's funny is when those commercials started airing, you had like a really great campaign. How many commercials were there?
I think 16.
Wow.
There are so many. And somebody told me, this is years later, somebody told me, well, we're talking about guys who were spokesmen. Somebody brought up Zima. And in my memory, and watching that commercial justified why I thought this, I thought you were Paul Provenza. I was like, Paul Provenza was the Zima guy. And then I asked Paul when I worked with him, and he was like, I didn't do the Zima commercials. And
mystery solved.
Now I totally get it, because you guys look alike. You guys
there's a lot of stories associated with Zima if you want to get into it. I know you.
Yeah, I love the way you sounded bitter, like angry about it. I know you weren't, but it was like, there's a lot of Zima stories. If you want to get into it, I'm ready.
I will knock a Zima story out.
Well, first of all, I mean, I had already gotten into some big league network television, and so this came out kind of during that. It was over 2 or 3 years, and they'd flown me out, and a number of comedians, to audition for this thing, and it was the bravest thing I've ever done in my life. I was completely, I don't know if you guys identify with auditioning and spazzing out and freezing up at auditions, like, okay, thank you. Could we try the English version? And I was just like, wait, that's not, it'll be probably in the plane on the way home. So let me do the plane version. Give me 10 more minutes and I got this. And I've never done that in my life. I've never said to a director, no. Give me another chance, because I flew all the way out here and I don't want to just go home having blown it. And then I'll have to drink a bunch of Zima and get over it. So they said, okay, what? And in 10 minutes, I had them, and I had the job, because I was just started to just get out of the way and just play.
You got into your comfort zone.
Character that's basically, at the time, Christopher Walken was. I was the first one to do Christopher Walken. I have to tell you, in all humility, I taught it to Jay Moore. He was like, "Hey, how do you do Christopher Walken?" I said, "Well, go look at a close range. You have to do like you have a nervous breakdown anytime. Anytime. It's okay. You make me skittish. Wow. Just Christopher Walken, nervous breakdown. However you do it, however you talk is different than everybody does it differently. But I don't sound like him, but I understand that on the edge thing.
You really do get into the character, man.
Well, a little bit.
I love it.
It helps that you're an actor too.
Well,
you really know.
Yeah, because I want to go out on the limb. I studied, and so I did the Zima guy a little like Christopher Walken with a Z impediment.
I noticed that.
Watch the commercial. Saw this guy, and I just kind of borrowed that. I'm sorry. What were you saying?
No. I was just saying I noticed that.
Yeah,
I was thinking there's a little Christopher Walken in there.
Yeah, and I didn't even realize that I was doing it at the time. I had just been working on it, and there it is. And so I don't know. You're channeling. You screw up, and then God knows where you are. But I'm just like, okay, so I got this Zima gig, and it was big money, and all of a sudden, I see my Zima commercials on Saturday Night Live and stuff, and I'm like, this is kind of cool. And I was waiting to hear on the contract, which would have been second or third year, which was like $500,000. I'm like, this is crazy money. And I'm waiting for them to say, okay, we're going another year with Zima. And I was in Rochester at my show. My sitcom had already been canceled, and so that wasn't happening anymore. But I had Zima, and I had my stand-up. And so I'm in Rochester, New York. And on the radio, somebody goes, hey, Zima guy, you're fired?
Wow.
And I'm like, what are you saying? What are you talking about? He goes, yeah. Check out the bottles on the inside. It says, good news, we dumped the character with the hat, which was me. What? And I said, no, get out. There's thousands of people listening to this. I don't know how many people listening today, but I'm telling you, this was the most humiliating experience to be fired. I got you fired in front of thousands of people on the radio. So I said, okay, go get a 6-pack and let's see what's happening. So they bring in a 6-pack. And sure enough, on the inside, look, because it's clear, Zima's clear. It says, good news, we dumped the character with the hat.
That's awful.
Oh my God.
Carbonated piss.
No wonder. No wonder Zima went under.
I'm on the radio saying all this horrible shit about the product.
Yeah, but you won in the end.
Nope.
Well, you're still working.
Well, yeah, but 20 years later, after a lot of drugs and alcohol and gambling and recovery.
That would be that. What awful people.
No, it was just show business. They didn't say we dumped Roger Kabler. They dumped the character with the hat, which is like Barney the dinosaur, the guy in the costume. Because their product wasn't going that well, they decided to fire the spokesman. I wasn't at home making it in my bathroom, guys. I put the hat on. I said, Zima.
Do they think, we'll go out and buy it now? The hat guy is gone. It's got to taste better.
I heard the hat guy was making bathtub gin with this.
Right.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I was on radio and drinking Zima and getting shit-faced because I am an alcoholic. I'm sober 18 years now, but at the time...
Congratulations.
He publicly humiliated, and I just started popping and drinking Zimas and talking about how, terrible things. And I get a letter from their legal department saying, you must cease and desist any negative comments about our product. But why didn't you guys tell me I was fired? We've been trying to reach you for months. Do we have don't make me find out? And he publicly, but it didn't matter because I could have had a nice lawsuit, but I blew it by, shooting my mouth off like I'm doing now.
You should have did another season of commercials with them where Zima's going in the shitter and so am I.
Zima! Just die on camera. What was fun about after that, Zima existed, but then I was doing things like catering and bartending, and I'd be at the bar and they go, hey, aren't you the Zima guy? I'm like, yeah, I'm serving it up too. Just take your fucking drink.
Now I want to shift gears real fast. Who is your favorite impression to do that might be nobody knows who it is, or it's it's like the secret one that you do when you're just having fun, maybe in the car, but you might not want to do in public.
Like Kevin Pollock does a great Alan Arkin.
Who does?
Kevin Pollock does a great Alan. Like nobody does that, but you might.
I used to do William Hurt, but that's really out of my range now. But I was doing William Hurt. I thought Anthony Hopkins was pretty hip to do, and at the time, nobody else was doing it, and I decided to give it a try.
You have to do a mean Elias Koteas. You don't even have to do anything. You look
Who's
just
Elias
like him.
Koteas?
He's a really great actor. He was in Chicago PD, and he played Casey Jones in the Ninja Turtles.
I'm sorry.
Mark's got kids.
I don't know who these people are. But I do.
If you looked him up, you'd go, "Oh, that guy. He's like a character actor that does the parts that are too small for De Niro."
Oh, I know who you're talking about now. I got you. Yeah,
He was in Thin Red Line.
Okay, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So who's your? Do you have a secret impression? I don't want to ask you to do an impression on the spot.
I do. I'm loving this
because this is a great question, and it's kind of silly, but I would try things when I was younger, and I don't really consider this my secret. Right now, I'm working on Moira from Schitt's Creek. Yeah. And all of them. I'm going to bring all of them into my act. Because it's over anonymous, and when I do that, it's like they're all in there. So I don't have anything developed yet. I'm kind of working on the way she finishes her sentences. And it was sort of if I may, at one point I was mixing Christopher Walken with Katharine Hepburn. There it is. What? Wow.
You are seriously morphing. It's amazing.
But that's a trick. It's not coming from anything. But I used to do.
I want to show you. My cat LaRue does.
Okay, hang on.
She does Alexis from Schitt's Creek.
Pause.
Arts and Entertainment Today has a question in the box. They said, "Was Rich Little a mentor to you?"
Yeah. Oh, sure. I mean, I my father dragged me into the living room. I haven't answered the other question yet, but I'll ask. My father dragged me to the living room when I was like 10 or 11 and said, "You got to watch this show." And it was Rich Little and Frank Ocean, who I think is a genius. And Marilyn Michaels, who was a friend of mine. She was doing the singing with Barbra Streisand and all these guys, and it was very inspiring to me. So I started, Rich Little. Just there was something really clean and crisp and concise about what he was doing. I'm the only. Oh, okay. Here it is. My guilty pleasure is doing Rich Little. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. Well, you take a little Jack Benny and add a little Carol Channing and a little John Wayne, and you've got Rich Little. I don't know if that's it or it isn't, or if it's just Jimmy Stewart or any of those. But that, old school Rich Little. Nobody does Rich Little.
No, that's the first Rich Little impression I've ever heard.
Yeah. But it's something that I have to channel, and I don't know that I can do it all the time. But that's the cadence, and I'm sticking with it. But I used to do Miss Jane Pittman. Do you remember the autobiography of Miss Jane Pittman? Does anybody care about this?
I don't know it. But
I care, but I don't know who that is.
It was a Cicely Tyson character. She played a 110-year-old woman, and it was from the 70s. Like most of my impressions are from the 70s. And I also like to do Marlon Brando from Last Tango in Paris.
Yes.
Very sick.
Oh my God! You turned into him.
Know who you were, you whore. No. Maybe I went too far there. But,
Roger, I can never do drugs around you. I think I would freak out.
God.
I used to mess up people at parties. I'd go over to them and what are you doing, acid? Are you an acid head? Well, I'm an assassin. I just fuck them up. I would go over and do Columbo. Pardon me. And I'd get right in here. I'm sorry. I enjoyed it because I wouldn't need to get as. I just enjoyed hearing them freaking out.
Do you purposely know the lighting when you're doing it? Do you purposely know your lighting? Because I noticed when you do it, you're shifting. When you did Marlon Brando, you looked like you were maybe 30 pounds heavier. And
if you're proof there's
turkey neck.
You're proof there's life on other planets. I mean, this is.
Well, Al Pacino is a fun one too because that's a whole other bag. Okay, I mean I have to get into it because first of all, the voice eludes me a little bit, and then you have to get into the mentality. The first one that I go to is for Dick Tracy. I don't know why that puts me into the character, but the big boy Caprice thing always gets me right where I need to be. I think the place. I don't know why, and so I think I need to work on Steve Carell though. I mean, just to keep it current. And that's
Steve Carell. That would be an original impression. Nobody imitates Steve Carell either. That's unique.
That's a good one.
You should work on a George Clooney too.
I used to do George Clooney as Batman. The reason that there's reinforcements in the neck of the bat suit. Which is George Clooney. But I used to do William Hurt, and so some of these guys. Oh, Jane Pittman was I got a fart in 110. Oh, that's nasty. It was this old 110-year-old black lady. You can't do black people anymore, I guess. Because
Billy Crystal's the last one allowed, I think.
Yeah, but he was in blackface. I'm channeling. Can I ask you guys' opinion? Then I'm going to shut up and listen because I would love to hear your opinion. And if you guys have questions out there in computer land,
yeah, we'll pop them right up.
I just want to know. I don't want to start a controversy, but a big part of my act was been like Red Fox and people like that, and even Honest. I mean, I channel all kinds of people, and I don't believe in excluding ethnicity.
I am going to agree with you on that. I mean, even my brother did. He went as Prince for Halloween one year, and he used skin shading. It wasn't blackface.
Right.
He used skin shading and darkened his skin, but my brother's also Italian.
Olive complexion.
So he was already dark, but he looked more like Prince than Prince.
Wow.
That he nobody gave him any shit because it was it looks just like Prince. There was no thing. I feel like people are getting that. People forget that it's about the context of what you're doing. You're paying tribute and honor to somebody that you look up to. Mm-hmm. So if they're of a different race or ethnicity, that should not be considered racist or cancel culture or whatever the hell it is, because you're paying a tribute to somebody that you love. So what's next? You're not allowed to impersonate an Italian person if you're not Italian? Or you're not allowed?
What's off limits? What's on limits? Good question.
I feel like if it's in a tribute or, and I mean, even in a joke, if you're making fun of them because they're in a situation that's funny, it's still paying tribute. That you like this person enough to learn their voice and their body and their.
But what if you're a comedian who's not doing an impression of a celebrity, but you're doing an ethnic type
character? So there's a guy, Brian Scott McFadden, who does a character who's a boxer and a ring man, and he does the thing, and it's. I mean, he doesn't ever say it, but it's
nobody's
blatant.
ever offended. In other words, because you're just doing an you're not making fun of them, so to speak. I mean, like Mark said,
where's the line? I think
I think if it's out of anger or if it's out of hatred, then
somebody said there should be no limits. I'm not saying it, but somebody said that.
Yeah.
If it's not right, if you're being cruel or a bully,
you don't want to be cruel. I think the days of chopsticks for teeth and I think those are over.
You just did it. I saw you.
That was Jason Pollock.
I'm canceled. Great, I'm canceled.
Thank you, Jason. We'll take it from here.
Yeah. Hey, Roger, what are you doing every Wednesday around 7?
With you guys, obviously. No, but here's what I wanted to say about this. Robin Williams would be canceled today. He couldn't do. Oh man, he would do deaf people. Thank you, Robin. He would do little people, and he would do everybody, and he would make fun of them, and he could get away with it because he was so charming and so funny, and we didn't think anything of it. And his mood, his demeanor, got him through it. And I try some of these things, and I recognize I'm feeling lousy about it because I'm not Robin, and I don't know that. But what I do in my act is I have Mrs. Doubtfire come on and say, "Don't you know you're marginalizing people, dear?" Well, then I'd like to thank the little people. You're welcome. Whoa, what about the stuttering pygmy? We can do it. You can't do this today, no. But I'm trying to find a way to do the act where, okay, certain things have got to go. And that it's still, you can still do a black person in a loving way. And I think it can be healing, because once everybody says you can't do black people, I'm saying, well, that's part of my culture as a human being. I'm celebrating all ethnicities, and they're all coming through me. And if you're channeling, what about people who are trans? Something is channeling some sex that they're not born with. And I'm totally supportive of that.
Yeah.
But they're channeling something that is not quite them, that they weren't quite maybe aware of until later in life. And they're realizing they have some sensitivity that is not, it just has to be addressed because they're channeling. And I'm feeling like I channel all kinds of people, and I don't want to slam on the brakes and start editing in my head, because you lose the flow. You slam the channel shut.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Oh, sorry, Jason. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, if you're on stage, you got a packed house, and you're doing your impression of Robin Williams. You go into a black voice, not making fun of a black person, but something a black person would say for the joke. Most people are going to laugh, and you might have one or two people out there who will say, "I can't believe he did that," and they'll go on Twitter, and that's who's getting offended, because they have the loudest voice, because they went on social media and bitched about it.
I think it's just a matter of context. It's just a matter of context. I mean, Robin Williams was a wealthy white dude from the suburbs who got away with doing all of the voices and all of the characters because of the context. It was love. He was shooting love out when he did it. It wasn't angry. He wasn't making. He was teasing because that's what comics do. But he wasn't. He didn't say anything hateful. It wasn't like when he did a little person. He wasn't saying kill little people or something like that. It was, doing a character that moved his bit forward.
Right. I agree with you, Mark. And I don't think he was concerned with some of the things we're concerned with now. I think he was concerned with delivering the goods that were flowing through him. And he made a lot of apologies later on.
Oh my God, that comment.
Did you hear that? Did you see that? Thank you. It's not cool, man.
Oh my God.
It's really about putting forward the context of the bit and moving it forward. I hate the cancel culture idea. I understand why it came about. Yeah. I don't necessarily fully agree with it, but there was a lot of very angry, mean-spirited, hateful stuff, and that's where it came out of.
Right.
But now it needs to calm down. Well, because comedy should be the one place you should be allowed to do it.
Exactly. And I was going to make the same point. It's like we're killing the jester who's in front and center to tell the truth, and we can laugh at ourselves.
You don't strike me as a mean-spirited person, Roger. I mean, I don't think... Yeah, I mean, even if you're going to do the joke, I don't think people would read you as being mean-spirited if you slip into that impression.
Well, it only occurred to me recently, and this isn't nearing... My child, who's 29, has pointed out to me that anytime you're imitating a black person, you're doing a minstrel show. And I didn't agree with that, but what I do agree with when I'm repeating some of the things that Robin did, and I'm going to do this as an example. So those of you who are just tuning in, understand this is the conversation we're talking about. In Robin's act, which I think this is a very funny bit, but I can't do it anymore. He goes, sometimes, remember Wild Kingdom when they shoot the animals with anesthetics with heavy medication. And sometimes the animals come back and go, excuse me, I was on the show last week. Yeah, fuck the tag. I'm going to be on again, okay? I'll run and you shoot me. Oh, my ass again. Yeah. Shoot me? I don't think so, man. And it just occurred to me. I've been doing the show for 7 years. And I said, you can't do that. You can't do I'll run and you shoot me. Not today. So I stopped doing it. But it just occurred to me. Now, I was never being mean, but I think thoughtless is a good way for me to explain how I didn't see this for 7 years. And I own it. I own being thoughtless. Now we have to start thinking about what are we really saying and doing.
Yeah, what I was telling Mark, I think it was you I was talking to the other day. We were having this conversation about cancel culture. And if I bitch about it, what am I going to say? Like, I'm upset because I can't make racial jokes? I mean, there's no argument there. I mean, I personally, nothing offends me. But if people, I can't do it. I'm not going to bitch about it.
Well, we have to find a way to communicate what lives in us in some other way. And if you don't have the resources and the imagination to find another way, I'm sorry, maybe then, you don't get to participate. I do a bit about when you're lonely and Halloween comes, and this is just another example. And guys, sometimes we just buy a pumpkin and we don't know what we're doing with it yet. And people start to see where this is going, and you make a hole. Don't carve out the top because the stuff inside, the gushy stuff, that's a lot of fun. You've done this. So, I get to the point where I'm dancing around the stage with the pumpkin, and I'm grooving on it, and I'm mostly doing it with my back to the audience. And then now, half the people are going, "You shouldn't do that," and the other people just that's just wrong. But the way you do it, it'll land, and then. To finish the joke, you carve off the top and you sprinkle the seeds in the garden. And in the fall, the pumpkins come and the kids go, look, that one looks like Robin Williams. And you realize the joke made my inner Robin hysterical. When I wrote that, I was raking my mother's leaves a few years back, and I just thought of the joke and the punchline. And I heard my inner Robin go, oh, God, that's awesome. And I said, I have to do this now. But there's a way to do it that won't be totally gross. There's a way to perform it that can be palatable. The idea is nasty. Do I do this? Should I do it in my act?
I mean,
it's funny.
It's a funny bit. And who are you offending? Pumpkins?
I think some of our commenters think you should do it. It's sad that you even have to talk about it. It might kill all comedy, this woke crap. Well, that's
I don't know.
True.
I agree.
If I find something else to do, then I'm obviously not very fertile, is what I'm saying.
I'm going to say you're a good gardener.
What?
You're a good gardener. You care about your plants.
I got a green, what's it called?
You got a green third thumb.
What is your secret for your plant growth?
It's a personal touch.
You don't want to know how he hoes the garden.
But Richard Pryor would do the most personal stuff that was hard to listen to, and I never stayed twice to see a movie twice in a row. It's live in concert, right? Isn't that like the quintessential concert movie? Richard Pryor live in concert.
Yeah.
And I just sat in my chair and watched it again. And I'm like, this is what I want to do.
Yeah. Well, the other thing too, I mean, the cancel culture, I think, came out of other businesses, and now that it went into entertainment, it's ridiculous. Like other businesses, if you're a business and you have racially insensitive stuff on your business, attack them. Yeah, cancel them out. Don't go to that restaurant anymore if they're putting racially insensitive stuff. But when it comes to comedy, when it comes to films, I mean, here's the thing. Are we going to stop making movies about serial killers because it's offensive? Like, that's not going to happen. And if you write a character in a movie who's racist, The writer shouldn't be, and the actor shouldn't be nervous to play it or write it. It's a character.
Do you remember when Sam Rockwell won Best Supporting Actor for that movie with Frances McDormand? I can't remember the name of it.
Oh,
there
yeah.
Was a lot of,
three billboards and something?
Yes, yeah. 3 billboards or something. So, yeah. There was controversy because they said, "Oh, look, a white guy won who played a racist." He's an actor. He's not
He's
racist.
playing a character. Yeah, it's.
I was appalled that this was.
Do we all now go picket Mark Harmon for killing all those people in that movie? Mark Harmon, the nicest man in Hollywood. Get him! He played a killer.
So let me ask you guys this. I had this idea because my girlfriend's an actress. She's terrific in the movie, being Robin. And we're talking about maybe we're very inspired by Schitt's Creek. That's like the greatest, most healing show I've ever seen because it's got a good heart. And we were thinking, could we do something like that? We're just both always knocking around the house, cracking each other up with just glances and stupid noises. And I thought, what about a series or just shoot a pilot about 2 people who fall in love in a psych ward and get their own place in a group home that's their apartment because they're in love, and they have mental illness. And I was wondering if you can even do that. And then it's a sitcom or, it's a comedy. People are laughing, but they have their difficulties. He's manic depressive. She's whatever she is.
And you call the show Halfway Home.
I love that. Halfway home.
Mark, you're on a roll tonight.
Yeah. I got way No, it's good. I was gonna call it something like that. The Home.
The Home.
But can you do that? That's my question.
Yeah, well, I love Ricky Gervais because he did that character Derek. Did you watch Derek?
Yeah.
It takes place in an old age home.
It wasn't. It was very touching but funny. He played a special needs character.
But the thing is somebody went after him and said, "You think it's right that you're playing a special needs person?" He goes, "He doesn't have special needs. You assume he does. I didn't say he did." And it was the character. And he played the character. It was amazing. And I absolutely love that show. It
was touching and funny. It was really well written.
I mean,
isn't that what it counts? Are we enriched by what we're watching? Or are we just going to condemn it and classify it?
Oh, man.
That was a pretty good question.
Well, let's throw it out there,
Well, I think... What was it, the movie that they just is it To Kill a Mockingbird that they did they get rid of it or did they
not the movie, right? The book they were trying to take out of schools?
Oh.
I'm not sure. I mean
I know it's about history. It's not there's nothing mean about it. It's history.
Somebody says the books got taken out of school.
Yeah, I believe that's what it was too.
Okay.
So that takes us to
Are we just going to hide them?
Are we going to the army bases thing?
Yeah, are we going to hide the past from the kids?
If we put it in the right context for them and say this is what this was.
Right.
Listen to this.
Well, Pollock Chaser said burn all the books, and if you had Mark Riccadonna from junior high school, he would agree with you because that would mean I didn't have to do any homework.
Woo! Elon Ellis Cooper. No, there was a guy in the audience when I was starting out with this Robin Williams thing. And Robin was a world-class smartass, and he just didn't care about authority. And there's this old guy wearing a Confederate Army hat. So Robin leapt out at me and said, "Hey, were you really in the Civil War, or is that just for fun?" And I said, "Well, thank you for your service." And was that offensive?
I hope not.
No,
I
that
make
was
fun of the
perfect.
Civil War a lot in my act.
What do you do?
I do. First off, I found out there's a group of guys down south. I got brought on stage and I said, "This guy's from New York City. Clap for Mark Riccadonna." And nobody clapped. And then somebody goes, "You fucking Yankee." And I go, "I don't know if you're talking about the Civil War or Major League Baseball, but Either way, we won. And then I go, guys will actually go out with muskets in fields and reenact the Civil War. Whenever I see that, I want to run out and be like, wait, I'm from the future.
Oh, yeah.
I know how this ends.
I saw that on YouTube. That's like my favorite joke right now, Mark. That's a great. Thank you for that. I'm from the future. I'm friends with the mayor of Framingham, who's a brilliant Black lady, and I met her before she was the mayor. She's the first mayor of Framingham, Mass. Became a city. And we were hanging out by the gristmill one day before she was mayor, and she said, I'm going to do her because I'm doing an impression. She says, these guys were doing some Civil War reenactment thing, and they invited me to come on down and participate. She said, what the fuck am I going to do? Run through the field with a do-rag, go, they're after me, help! And I know you're all crawling, your skin's crawling, but this is a Black lady doing this, and I'm laughing my ass off because she knows her truth, and she knows the truth about those reenactments. Why on earth would she participate in that? And what the hell would she do?
Yeah. I mean, we're at a roast. There's a guy in a comedy club down south, the Comedy Cabana. His name's Cooter Douglas. Cooter Douglas, and he looks exactly like Cooter Douglas would look. Right. And I said, Cooter, you're so old and gray. There are liberals out in the parking lot demanding to take you down.
Speaking of roast, that's where they can get away with it seems like the only place you can get away with offensive material is a roast.
Yeah.
And those are nasty. Those are too
they get mean.
I am not a fan. Yeah, I know. I'm too sensitive. I'm way too sensitive for that. As soon as somebody makes a joke, I'll start going like, "Oh, maybe I got to lose weight." I don't know. Maybe
it's hurtful. Well, that's a good point. Can we take a joke? And I know that I know that some ethnic people love to hear their ethnicity celebrated on stage in a comedy club. And my friend Bill Kirkenbauer, who's been around since
I know Bill.
Jack Parr was the host of the Tonight Show. He was saying that there's Catskill comedians that used to do the whole stereotypical Asian driver person and with the glasses and the chopsticks as you were doing, and the people and the Asian people in the audience was just so hurt by it. And it's because it's just making fun of.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's where I think it came into. I think it was kind of telling people write better jokes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it comes down to. It's not a matter of, I hate the whole woke idea, but it is a matter of telling some people need to hear it. You need to write better jokes. You can't get away with it.
Look at the Jim Gaffigans of the world. I mean, the guy's clean as anything. He's hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Where's home, by the way, Roger? Because you mentioned Framingham, Mass.
Oh yeah, well I grew up there, and right now I'm in Florida, practicing to be an old Jewish fart. I'm feeling I can do that.
Oh, I'm stumbling in my words. I have to. This is a change of subject, but
right.
You did Tales from the you did Tales from the Crypt.
I did one episode, yeah.
Were you with John Kassir at all?
I did a pilot with John Kassir.
I can't imagine the two of you in one room at the same time.
And Peter Potofsky. Can I tell you a great joke with Peter Potofsky?
Yes.
And John Kassir and I? Okay, this is another ethnic thing, and I didn't agree with any of this. So we're working, I think the Paramount lot, or it was Warner Brothers or something, and we're doing this pilot based on the Three Stooges, and I'm playing the Moe character. I got a Moe complex. I'm bossy, and I'm cranky. And John Kassir is the Larry character with the hair, and Peter Potofsky's the Moe. He's completely insane, and he's a clown. And we see Kevin Costner standing on the steps of one of the buildings. We all go running over there just after he won for Dances with Wolves. And I'm like first in line going, oh man, Kevin, thank you. That was a beautiful film. And it meant so much to a lot of people and bringing awareness to the indigenous people. And I try to say, what I felt. And so did John Kassir. It was beautifully poetic. Peter Potofsky, who I think is very funny, who has no breaks, He shook Kevin's hand. He goes, I think you should take all your Indians and shove them up your ass. And then he does a backflip and lands on his neck. And Kevin screamed in laughter.
That would be the weirdest intro.
Crazy. And your guys, and it's funny, but it's what? So is that kind of insanity acceptable? I mean, to me, it was very offensive, and it still is. But
it's offensive, but the fact that he broke his neck afterwards makes it funny.
He didn't break his neck. He landed because he's a clown. He can land.
Oh, okay.
He's really close with Penn Jillette, right?
I don't know that.
Penn Jillette tells stories about him that'll come out and climb over people in the seats. Yeah. He starts licking their heads and stuff.
Yes.
I'm gonna have to look this guy up.
Yeah. When we were doing the pilot, the president of CBS walks in the door and he crumpled something up and threw it and hit him right in the head.
Oh
and I'm like,
God.
That's talent. What a shot.
Do you ever go back up northeast?
What's that?
You ever back up in the Northeast? I'd love to come see you, man.
Yeah, I was living there for the last 6 years, and then Robin died, and I went on the road doing the show, and I ended up in Florida because my girlfriend got a job here, and we got a place to stay in the gated community. I couldn't turn that down. Yeah. And when the world's been closed all this time, I want to do a bit. This is where we can write better stuff, okay? Instead of doing some of the things that Robin did, you can't do anymore. I want to talk about what's going on with all the gig workers and the Broadway people, jazz hands, the Broadway people who have been holed up for a year with no way to perform. And all the things they want to do once they get back on the street again. The world has kept them prisoners. They're all a bunch of, genies that they need to get out. Gotta dance, man. Because I feel the same way. I need to get out and perform. And I think at the end of May, I'm going to be at the Bucks County Playhouse with my show, and I hope it comes through.
That's right near me. We live there.
No,
we're so close.
Call them and tell them to get my ass in there because I think they're. Oh, I just lost you. Hold it.
No.
What are you?
No. I just hit a button and I got too excited. Ping.
Here we are. We're here.
When are you looking to go down?
Well, it happened again. Hang on. It's getting dark in here, guys. I got some other light source. I don't have. This is it. I'm going to ask, what's her name, my girlfriend, to bring a lamp in here. Oh, wait.
You look great. We see you loud and bright and shiny.
Making a lot of noise, but thanks for letting me talk. I was diagnosed with bipolar years ago, which is fine.
And you lived on both poles.
No, just the upper pole. I don't go south anymore.
He's penguins and Santa. Nothing but penguins and Santa.
Hey, you're supposed to. It's a colony of penguins on the iceberg when the Titanic saying, "Hey, we've been hit. Everybody off."
When are you looking at Bucks County? I'll go down there and.
Yeah, we're
in negotiations right now, where my manager has set it up, and he asked for a certain amount of thing, and they said we're going to go back and crunch the numbers, and it's supposed to be Memorial Day weekend. I'm doing 3 shows, and I'm dying to hear from them. But if it doesn't happen, I still got to finish my movie and edit it. But I'm retooling the act because I want it to be more accessible to people who love Robin, who don't really know his stand-up. They didn't know how naughty he was.
Oh, yeah.
And I think they're just waiting for Mrs. Doubtfire, dear. And so, and some of the other monologues where he was really inspiring. So I want to bring more of that. And even Mark, which Robin would never do. Even Mark could make an appearance from time to time and be okay. Okay, and then we go, hey.
Just say to me, it's not your fault. It's not your fault.
Wait a minute, let me get into it.
All right.
I'm not just some kind of puppet, because I'm right now, I feel offended. So I'm doing Richard Dreyfuss.
Dreyfuss, yes.
Richard Dreyfuss.
I mean, this means something. This little podcast of yours is important to me,
I hope you clip that, Tom.
What?
Clip that so we can play it back.
Oh,
so awesome.
See, they're starting to get me wound up. See, you don't do this with mental cases. Don't get them wound up.
This
Don't invite
is
them on your show. They won't go away and they won't shut up no matter what they do. Wait, I'm eating a big fucking lamb chop right now. How ironic.
how long does it take? You've been eating that lamb chop.
Well, I haven't had this. I've been taking these little bites while you guys aren't looking.
Indulge. We're a family. Indulge.
Oh, so what did you want, Mrs.? What did you want with more? With
Oh, Goodwill Hunting. It's not your fault.
No, listen to me, son. It's not your fault. It's not your fault.
Don't mess with me, man.
Oh, you ever disrespect my wife again? I'll enter a fucking engine. No. Angel, fucking angel. Angels. Wow. Oh, where's my deodorant?
So when Awakenings came out, that had to be like a wet dream to you. Robin Williams talking to De Niro, going back and forth. Just...
You didn't wake a thing, you woke a person. Leonard, put it down. It's okay. Where are my glasses? Oh, shit. Please. I mean, that's not swimming, that's waiting. See, here's the thing, guys. I don't look like Robin Williams. I do a lot of makeup to get rid of these fucking pagoda eyebrows of mine. And I do a lot to pale my... And then I got this wig. And then I have to do the thing with my face, which is very painful. And try to make my nose look like it hangs over my lower lip. So we do a lot of this thing. And then we just go with it. It's okay. And then I try to get rid of the turtley things on my neck, which comes with age. I don't know.
Dude, I just can't believe watching you transform.
Well, yeah, when you're being yourself, I see Robin coming out.
That's my point. I just got that thing where it's just I'm driven to, and then people were like, "Oh God, did you shut up already? Come on." You have to learn how to take a hint. It's time for somebody else to talk now. Something
that I found really interesting, and I have a question on. You did a killer Eric Roberts. Eric Roberts.
God. Do you remember that?
Oh my God. Now, did anyone else do Eric Roberts? I don't remember other than my friends going, Mike Doms!
No, this is interesting because I partied with him.
I was in a movie with him.
What's
but
that?
He's old. I was in a movie with him, but he's older now. It's Days of Power.
I ain't seen that one, man. I was in them fucking. I wasn't even there. I got residual checks. Did I make this movie?
The weirdest Eric Roberts I've ever seen. He was on Jackson Galaxy, My Cat from Hell. They had an issue with their cat, so. I've never seen this side of him before. He's really into his cats, which I get. I am too.
Yeah, don't piss him off. I got kittens alone here. You ain't alone, Charlie. And those other assholes, the dogs, they ain't shit. Okay. They took my nibbles, Charlie. No, but I was in school with his sister. She was my scene partner at the neighborhood playhouse the year that came out. So
Julia Roberts?
Yeah, no, Lisa Roberts, the lesser Roberts. But I ended up
one no one's talking
about. I met Julia when she was like 19, and she was kind of gangly at the time. She wasn't quite Julia Roberts. She was sort of a larval Julia Roberts. She wasn't the fully formed Julia that we've come to love. And so I'm partying with her, and her too. The other Roberts is at this Christmas Halloween party. And he was weirdly shy, but he did come and see me do him at a cabaret show. He was in the audience. And I did this bit where John Travolta says to Eric Roberts, "Hey, you know what you should do? You should go to Overactors Anonymous, right?" And because I did this bit where Eric zipped his dick up. Oh, man, I zipped up my dick, Charlie. And Eric is sitting in the audience, and he comes to the stage door afterwards, and he buys me a drink, and it was just so cool, and it's fun to have somebody see you do them. Eric, Robin saw me do him on TV a few years, about 15 years ago, and he liked it. I guess he liked it. I'm not bragging. This is what I heard from Rick Overton. He said he liked my impression.
Oh, we love Rick.
Probably why he's haunting my ass. Okay.
Boo. So was Robin your first impression?
No, Peter Falk. No, I think it was Rich Little's Nixon was my first impression.
I love it.
Yeah, I used to go around the house with a raincoat on, do Mommy, am I bothering you? I'm yeah. No, it's weird because a lot of impressionists like have no personality or very little, and they rely on that.
That's
And,
what I was going to ask about the Peter Sellers thing. That he
I
didn't
don't
know who he
know.
really
That
was.
interesting, yeah, but look at Jim
Yes.
Carrey, I mean, a great impressionist who clearly has his own thing. And Kevin Pollock too is a terrific actor. So.
Yeah.
Steve Coogan is brilliant with impressions. He does a killer
He
Michael
is.
Caine.
Oh my God!
Cougs.
Oh, it was Michael Caine. I've tried. I can't even do it justice.
You have to start with Alfred and Batman. So I've got the Lamborghini. I've got something in my nose. What? I've got the Lamborghini. Would you blow your fucking nose? Why do you say it? I've got the Lamborghini. That's the hook as far as I'm concerned. I don't know.
Yeah, that's hard to do. I'm sorry. I'm just fascinated with the impressions. You know what I love is that you actually have jokes to go along with them. I see so many comics who don't incorporate jokes with the impressions as well.
Well, to me, what could be really fun, and this is what I've experimented with, is to not, just like improv doesn't have to be funny. I am going to get a lamp in here. I've done some studies on this, and when I was doing my stage show initially that led to Bobby Roose, and I'm doing De Niro, and at the end of the De Niro Kitty comedy show, he pulls a gun. And he points it into the audience, and at some point, somebody got up and started leaving. I said, where you going? Where you going? He said, I'm going to the bathroom. No, sit down. Sit down. You better sit down now. And he goes back to his side. It's a finger. What the fuck are you worried about? What's the matter with you? I'm pointing the finger at this guy. And I realized you get in a whole, like what Andy Kaufman do, would fuck with people and get them wondering, is this guy really okay? And doing that with impressions was a lot of fun because I'd come out in the audience sometimes. And in the movie, Who the Hell is Bobby Roose? My character as De Niro actually beats up a heckler. He comes off stage, and that's how he loses his career. He gets blackballed because he's like, this guy's really getting into his fucking stuff. And he comes down, he's like on fire, and he starts pounding this heckler, and he gets thrown out of the club. And my character ends up on the skids and just doing impressions on the subway and stuff. Wow. So that's what happens in that movie. And he meets a girl as Robert De Niro in the supermarket, and he's the more charming De Niro. And then they go to bed, and the next morning she wakes up and he's Robin Williams. Ah, surprise! And she's like, "What the fuck?" And I'm like, "Well, I've never seen this side of you either." Okay, and it's like that. The whole movie's.
Can we see this movie?
You can watch it on YouTube, I think. Yeah, it's called "Who the Hell is Bobby Roose?"
I'm writing that down right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna write that down.
My point was, it's a low budget independent film, but the music is incredible, and I did it in 2000. But you don't have to be funny doing impressions. I love it when it goes to the level of, again, going back to Magic, that movie where the dummy gets murderous.
Yeah. I'm saying if you're doing stand-up comedy,
Yeah.
then you want to be.
You don't have to be. I'm gonna go get a lamp. I think even in stand-up, you can be a little weird as long as they're interested.
Yeah.
Does it have to be funny?
Agreed. Jason,
Performance art.
while he grabs the lamp, we have a question for
Get
you.
the lamp. I'll be right there.
You got it.
I know, because I'm vain. I want you to be able to see my face.
Would you rather watch your parents bang for the rest of your life? Oh, what the hell! No one wants to stop it.
Which one, Jason?
Those are my two options.
Yep.
If those are my two options, there's always death. There's always death.
No, not even. You don't know what you would do there. I'm not sure.
Jordan wants to stop it.
I would wonder what kind of altered universe you're in. That those are your two options.
What are the options?
Go ahead, Jason. Read it for one time.
One of our commenters. Would you rather watch your parents bang for the rest of your life or join in wants to stop it? If those are my only two options, I would choose the eternal sleep. I just
Who sent that out? That's
choosing the third option, Jason.
I want to party with them and get into their mind a little bit and see what's going on there.
Yeah. If that's the option is to hang out with the guy who asked that question, I would choose the guy who asked that question. You're right.
Yeah, I mean that's like what kind of altered universe that it's like these are your options, buddy. I mean, door number 1, door number 2, and you have to go.
It's like I can live for.
You've got a gun to your head and you have to choose. Let's up the stakes. You can't walk out of the joke.
Oh God!
You've got a gun to your head. You either watch your parents the rest of your life, or you
This
jump
is
in
the
one.
gun, right? That's what I do.
All right, here's the deal.
Very motivated.
Well, if I had to watch this, it would get ridiculous. I don't know how long it's going to go on. Well, no, every night I have to watch every night, or is that's
They
terrible.
do it every night. I mean,
But
you know,
if I join in one time, it's over. It's done.
Well,
You know,
Jason, can you sell merch after your dad finishes up? You set up a merch table.
my parents are pigs in bed, and all I got was this T-shirt. You can have one too.
$20. $20 or 2 for
30
30.
bucks.
Look at old wooden
It
freak.
makes a nice towel too. You can take that.
Discuss the extent to which joining in counts. I like how you're asking these questions.
Lori?
Doesn't say for how long, Jason.
For how long?
I like he's asking it like it's he's doing like an intellectual discussion at a TED Talk. Discuss the extent to which quote joining in counts. If I'm joining in, you know, I want it all. I'm going full, I'm going all in because the sooner it's over, the sooner I can put it behind me and go to therapy.
Is it wham bam? Thank you, Mom. What
Jason, are you going to become a bottom, or are you going to?
Oh no! Oh, hold on. I would have to go with the female portion. I don't want to say mom because that just freaks me out. I'm gonna have to say I'll go with the female.
30 seconds, but there's a 10% chance Mom's pregnant. Hey, I think any jokes that had racial insensitive, nobody cares anymore because of this.
Yeah, our audience doesn't seem to mind your any impression is not off the table at this point.
They want to know if Jason's diving in.
Well, one of them did say they want everybody's answer. I think you all need to answer Codings.
is the gun to the head thing happening, or is it?
Well, I mean, think about it. It's one way in their world. It's one way. No, please. In one in one world, this is that's how you live forever. Apparently, like death is not an option. If you want to live forever, you have to either join your parents one night or watch them every night. But
Can I say something? I know
Please.
that sounds stupid because I've been talking constantly. But, you know, there's this movement where upon childbirth, this is William Buckley, upon childbirth, the pregnant mother is experiencing an orgasm as the baby is being delivered. And I'm thinking, wow, just deliver the baby, okay? Don't ask everybody to leave the room. It's not a sex toy. Okay, it's good son. Yeah. No, I'm not to be gross, but it occurred to me that Robin would love to do that bit, and I won't do it. I just did it, and I realized the sound effects that go with it that are impossibly cruel.
oh, please!
You've already been there, Jason. That's my point.
Yeah, this is old
Right.
territory.
Oh my God! I never thought of the fact that I was
Old
already
hat,
in there.
as it were.
Yes.
That was your first.
Oh wow.
All I could
Yeah.
picture is trying to get the reaction video of showing that clip to your parents. It'll be like
Yeah,
two
that's not
girls in
gonna
one
happen.
cup.
I
No.
see Jason at the edge of the bed, like a little girl about to jump in a double dutch.
Like no, it'd be more like the water's cold and I don't want to jump, but
Polar Bear Club, Jason. Polar Bear Club.
Shrinkage, Mom. It's shrinkage.
Mom, Dad. So, Jason, are you Jewish?
I am. Yeah, this is another reason I'm really not into the idea. I have a lot of Jewish women on my family. I have a big Jewish family, mostly consisting of females. And this is why I married a woman who wasn't Jewish. I can't invite any more in. There's just too many.
Right.
And the fact that I have to jump into bed with my Jewish parents to get to live forever. I'd have to go with.
As long as
I don't know what it made you immortal. That wasn't in the question.
Well, because there's no death is not an option.
I mean, you will be a legend
thank you,
forever.
Coatings, thank you very much.
This is why I love Jason's podcast, because you don't know where it's going to go.
This is the person commenting. This isn't me. GetMeAJew.com.
I'm talking to my rabbi after this. I'm not comfortable at all.
Well, we are legends. We got follows from these cool people.
Very nice. Very nice.
Very cool.
Look
I'm gonna
at
tell you.
get me a Jew.com. What is that?
GetMeAJew.com.
.com. He missed the dot. Jason's very literal.
I thought it was a way to communicate. It's a Jew.com. It's a way to communicate with all the Jews. That's how we interact. Like I could tap into my Jew.com and Roger would hear me. Nobody else.
I understand you. Go to your mother. Go to your mother.
I love somebody. Thank you, gentlemen, for the wise counsel. I'm now ready to make the ultimate sacrifice.
Well, Dean Robbins coming out in August. That just didn't work at all. People want to get into this. Well, what about you guys? We haven't talked about. Isn't everybody going to take a turn with this, or is it just Jason? Because Jason.
Well,
I'm
up for
Jason
everybody.
answer.
Yeah, why am I the only one?
All the fun.
Because you're Jewish.
We invented comedy as Jews.
Right.
Yeah.
And probably a Jew invented that little question, too. I'm thinking about my mother right now. Would it be? How would it be? Your father would be disappointed, of course.
I'm sticking strictly to I'll be selling merch at Jason's house. That's what I'm doing.
What would the shirt say?
You know what? I'm willing to join Jason's parents instead of watching them every night.
Tom, it wouldn't be as awkward for you.
I think we're all.
I don't know why it
join in
became
with
my
Jason's
parents. I mean, everybody's,
Because that was the question, Jason. It's your parents, not ours.
Did you guys ever hear your parents in the other room?
My stepbrother woke me up once. He was maybe 8 years old. He woke me up. It was a Saturday morning. He said, "I think my mom's in pain." I was like, "Why?" He said, I tried knocking and nobody answered. She's making a noise. I went out to the door, to their bedroom door. Before I could even knock or do anything, I hear, "Ah!" And I immediately said, "She's fine. I don't want anything else to do with this. We're going to go back to bed now."
Hurry back to your Lucky Charms before they get soggy. Tell me.
He's doing an impression of Jason with the hand.
No, that's Hannibal Lecter.
Oh, the
does it
mask.
too.
No, this is weird. Why isn't there like an uncomfortable pause around all this? At least one.
There should be. He said missed opportunity. No, Ballas. No.
No boundaries.
Oh, wow.
Oh, man.
This is the least sober I've felt in 18 years. It's an orange light, like I'm calling from
I'm with you. 100%.
Freaking lamb chop. Nobody's going to save me. What do we got, another hour?
We've been
We're overtime.
Well, clearly we're not focused on my career anymore. We're talking about Jason.
I would absolutely love to get back to you.
No, it's too late. Obviously, Jason's parents and that dilemma. To me, it's much more interesting than what I do.
Wait, which Jay Black, the comedian or the singer?
No,
Jay
Jason.
Jay Black, there's a comedian who's a really good friend of ours. And then there's also Jay and the Americans.
So the statement was, because we are on a podcast a little bit, Jay Black was in an accident in Cleveland and was in the emergency room and had an Indian doctor was examining him. He sat up and said, "Get me a Jew." This true story. Great show and singer. Jay Black.
Jay Black and the Americans. Okay, the singer.
Jay Black, the comedian.
There's a really great comedian, Jay Black, that I thought I was like, Jay Black was in an accident?
That's what I thought he was telling us.
I'm going to get a real lamp. I'll be right back. Don't...
you're fine. Sure. I like your mood lighting.
And I'm in a whorehouse, and I'm not. All right, fine.
Oh, he's coming back. I like the red light district look.
Yeah.
So, do you plan on releasing the movie this August? Is that your goal?
I didn't actually want to talk about my career anymore. But, I'm a freaking has-been who made it, pretty good in the last few years. But that's really what it is.
Now,
I don't know.
I did ask Bill Kirkenbauer if he wants to be on this show.
Yeah, you should. He's very entertaining.
I did, but he told me he's in Cambodia, and I thought, I've been rejected. I've heard a lot of rejections, but is he really in Cambodia?
Yeah, he is.
Wow.
Yeah, the time difference there is crazy.
Yeah, it's murder on my career, too. All the gigs are... no, it's okay.
Is he living there?
What's that?
Is he living in Cambodia? Did he go there for the food?
I heard they have good food.
They understand him over there. Well, no, I think, no, it's not the food.
So wait, you might be coming up here Memorial Day weekend?
Who's that?
You.
Oh, yeah. In Pennsylvania, yeah. County playoffs. I heard that, Jessica Tandy, Hugh Cronin haunted that stage, and Robert Redford, and all these great actors. And plays. Just getting back to my career a little bit. Just before the COVID hit, my show was scheduled to go off Broadway in New York in Times Square, and then the world shut down, and I'd love to be able to do Bucks County playoffs and make that a pre-Broadway or pre-off Broadway or kind of a tryout and see where it goes, because I love doing the show, and I think once I stop being so naughty with it and doing all the pumpkin stuff and all that sort of stuff that I think people are as familiar with Robin's comedy as they are with his movies, and now I'm sort of retooling the show so it's more family friendly. It's still kind of naughty. We can do the pumpkin thing, but you can't show as much. And
I like how you froze there.
Yeah, how it's in the orange too. Hey. No, but I think it's.
I live 25 minutes from there. I will.
Yeah, me too.
There
go there and tell them you heard the show was coming to town, and you'll pay.
I'm friends with the stage manager. I'll text him.
Oh my God!
Is that Irwin? Yes.
Let's push
not
this
Irwin
over the cliff. I really want to do this gig just because as an actor, you want to go there.
Yeah.
And be in that space where all these great actors came before you.
If you are coming up, though, I'm going to stay in touch with you. If you're coming up, I might be able to help you with finding some other stuff during the week. So while you're up here,
I'm coming up this week, man. Seriously, we're leaving tomorrow morning to go to Cape Cod for a week.
No way.
10 days. And I am going to be swinging through there, Allentown. But the movie's actually with the editor in Allentown, and I'm picking it up from him.
Nice. That's great.
Wow.
That's an hour
the
for
movie's
me.
exciting, and I'm like, I just feel like the response to it has been more than I had hoped. And I'm not hyping. I'm just saying that we started out making a regular movie, like here's this scene, and then it goes into this scene, and my mind is not always understandable. So to turn it, and we were not quite done shooting because of COVID, so we kind of made it more of a quasi-documentary. You have different people telling parts of the story, including Bill Kirkenbauer, and how I said no when he asked me to do a tribute to Robin. It all weaves together into this idea that what is it possible that a spirit as powerful as Robin could influence somebody like me to throw everything I have into doing a tribute show. My whole life is centered on this thing, to the point where I'm even Robin in my dreams sometimes, and to the point where there's a scene in which my girlfriend has a tryst with Robin. it's not necessarily a sexual tryst, but it's a romantic and spiritual event. That if you could be with Robin Williams for one night, would you pick him or Jason's parents? This is the
The answer will always be Robin Williams for me.
Hey, me too. But I asked the guy in the audience, if you could clone yourself, would you have sex with yourself? And he was like, oh, yeah. What about that one, guys?
Ooh.
Want to go there?
Would you have sex with?
I mean, isn't that like the Liberace move?
I don't know what's the Liberace
did he do that?
No, Liberace would only date boys who looked exactly like he did, but younger, and he'd make them get plastic surgery to look like him.
Oh my God!
Really?
Yeah.
What would Paul Lynch say to that?
Molly Chaser would clone his missus for a trio. Well, that's the way to clone.
That's a smart clone. It's a good clone.
Look, he actually mentioned his wife in that.
So hey, I put my number in the
public chat so everybody could call him.
I did it in the private chat. So when you come through, call me. I'll take you guys out to dinner.
Send me a text message with the number, because I'm not going to be able to save this unless I take a picture of it. Oh, there it is. I'll take a picture of it. Yeah. I have the technology.
Can you do the? Can you do sounds? Can you do the $6 Million Man sound? Now you do it all. Now you just became Michael Winslow.
Oh, so, Michael Winslow ain't shit, man. I used to do the whole Tijuana brass thing. You know?
Oh my God, Herb Palper, my favorite cover ever.
That's great.
Yeah, my parents love that stuff, and whatever. The kids love it. It's because I didn't go to college and I had to do something. What else?
If you could give you starting out one piece of advice, what would it be with all your years in the business?
Okay. This is true. And I was going to make fun, but I want you guys to hear this. And I'm looking at you now. Kids, listen to me. Don't put all your eggs in show business. Find something else to do. And if you get into trouble out there, look at me. Drop out for a minute. Get your shit together. There's a lot of pressure in show business. There's a lot of toxicity. When trying to reach for the brass ring, I really fell because I had the brass ring and I couldn't handle it because I had a drug and alcohol problem. And I didn't really have the brass ring because of that. And the best thing I could tell you is if you have a problem, it's a really tough business. And I would tell myself, find something that you love to do to balance out your life. Because show business, it's very, very tricky if you have thin skin like I do. I picked up painting when I got sober, and that I do that as well as the acting thing. And I find the same joy in it, only I don't have to ask permission to do it. I don't have to audition to paint a painting. The foundation that we live on. Oh, Mr. AA, stop. No, the foundation that we live on is what we can build on. If your foundation that your life is built on is crumbling, or it's cracked, or you've got drugs and alcohol problems, or you've got something that's not working, trying to build a career on any career on top of that is hazardous because it will surely crumble. If your foundation is solid and you have good ethics and boundaries and thoughtfulness towards others, and an idea that you're doing it for service, not for your own ego, that you're doing it to give people a good experience maybe or enrich them, is to me the proper motivation. If you're just doing it for yourself, you're going to end up hating this. If you're doing it, because that's what I did, man, and it was ugly. And I just, I'm actually a really spiritual guy, but when you come on, you're going to be kind of funny. But I mean,
yeah.
I really despised who I became around show business. And it was important for me to build a foundation on recovery, meaning learn how to make your bed. Start with that, be helpful. get help if you need help. And so many people have crashed and burned. And I know this is not the funny part of the show, but so many people have crashed and burned because of addiction or because of the pressure that the business puts on them, that they keep trying to get on the horse again, and they keep trying to come back, and they keep trying to stay in the limelight. And like Amy Winehouse, it can do you in. So my idea, it wasn't my idea, but somebody said, you got to get out of show business for a while. And I did. And at first I'm like, no, that's what I am. That's what I do. I'm an actor. That's what I do. And they're like, it's killing you, man. You just build something like a foundation that you can build that career on, and then you got something. Otherwise, you just keep falling over and it collapses. And so right now, I'm working more than I ever did because of this idea of, building a foundation that which you can build something else on. The foundation is so important. And that is just whatever you decide is stable life, stable existence. And my whole life came up on instability, no boundaries, just what the hell, go to hell, whatever. Hey, what the hell? Sobriety to me means your word means something. Your boundaries are there for a reason. You don't build a boundary and then kick it over and say, hey, I'm a good time, because that never worked for me. I was just a mess, and people didn't like it after a while when you mess with their boundaries. Anyway, I hope that answers the question. I would tell myself all these things.
That was great advice.
And I probably would listen to this older version of me. I think, get the fuck out of here. But and I'd have
is that the truth?
But that's it. What's that?
I mean, isn't that the truth though? When you get a little older and you can look back, like I look at me in my 20s, and it's like I don't think I would have been able to talk sense into myself.
I wouldn't. I wish I could change the past, but I feel like if I was able to do what you were saying, go back and give that advice to myself, I would say, no, fuck you. I got to learn on my own the hard way.
Wow.
Young Mark was a stubborn man. I really want to hang out when you come through. I'd love to get you dinner or something, man.
I would love that too.
Yeah, I'll come for dessert.
By the way, I made a mistake by saying anything about AA. It's not about AA. It's just about living a principled life.
I totally knew what you meant. I got it.
AA shouldn't be mentioned, but
yeah,
I shouldn't.
It's honest. You're very honest, and it's appreciated.
Well, you know what? I was going to visit my mom. I'm going to go visit my mom, and they said, "Are you vaccinated?" And I said, "No." And I told the truth, and that set limits on my visit. But I'm glad I told the truth, because otherwise I'm just a con artist.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a touchy one.
It's. I mean,
look at show business. Look at the bullshit that we're in.
Yeah, it's a lot of lying.
I appreciate you coming on and being honest and being entertaining and just telling your story.
It's a great show, by the way, you guys.
Really thank you so much, Roger.
Here.
Thank you.
That means a lot, and I really appreciate you stopping in and just being yourself. And I hope you come back.
Thank you, and say hi to your parents for me. Will you?
Put in a good word.
And do you want to real quick? Do you want to do a plug?
I already got one. Thanks. I'm good. No. Maybe when I come into town.
All right.
So the plug is keep an eye out for Being Robin, the movie. It's a real it should be pretty controversial, and people should be talking about what it means. And I don't have any answers. I don't know. It's a mystery, like the mystery of fate. There's a mystery as to what exactly is going on with me and Robin. I love Robin and I miss him, and maybe that's why this happened, or maybe there's something more to it. But I think it's going to be talked about. And I also, hopefully I'll come over to Bucks County and do the show. I want to keep the show going. And that's all I have to plug is just, keep an eye out for my show. It's called the Something Robin Williams Experience, and the movie's Being Robin. Thank you, guys.
Thank you,
Roger. We appreciate you.
I also wanted to tell you, I do a bunch of other impressions in Act 2. The first act is all Robin and all his characters. And the second act is me and all the characters that I do.
Oh, that's cool. Great. So you get a variety.
Yeah, I get to play, too. I don't get stuck in that mask, which is really painful after a while.
Yeah. I don't know how you can do it, man. That's so awesome. And when
Everybody-
we close out, stay on. Don't hang up.
Okay. Can I eat my pork chop while we're
Of
Yes.
course.
the lamb
Sure.
chop? Thank you. You guys are awesome. I
Thank
really
you.
appreciate
Thank you
your
so
time.
much.
I wish you all the best. I'll see
Thank
you.
you, Lulu Lounge, Polly Chaser, everybody
There you
watching.
go. Arts and Entertainment today said they'll book a show with you.
Thank you. I would love that. Thank you. Let's do it.
And how could you? Real quick. I know you got to go.
Arts and
But
Entertainment.
how could they find you on social media if they want to book
My
you?
name's Roger Kabler, and you can find me on Facebook and leave me a message.
It's KBL.
That's it. Yeah. KBLER. No, there's a lot of Robin stuff up there, clips from the show, clips from the movie, interviews. And if you go on Roger Kabler, comic impressionist or comedian impressionist, but just go to Roger Kabler and I'll get in touch with you. Make friend with me.
And the guy that's Arts and
I'm listening.
Entertainment's a buddy of mine, so.
Perfect. I hate to cut it short, but hang out because we're going to talk a little more in the green room. Jason, let them know that we have Behind the Funny coming up with Ace Aceto and Scott Higgins. So all you have to do is hit refresh, and they will be on with you guys, right, Jason? And we'll see you next week. Where?
Right here at Hi, I'm Jason on the Drinks, Jokes, and Storytelling channel. Thank you, Tom, for filling in. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Roger. Thank you, everybody watching. Just thank you. I love you all,
Mark,
and thank my parents for being good sports.
Good night.
We don't.